In this lecture, let's look at how we can achieve sorting in our ASP.NET Core Web API. Sorting is a common requirement in ASP.NET Core Web APIs, as when client wants to retrieve data from the server in a specific order. So let's look at an example. This is the same example as we had in the filtering session. So we have a list of countries in some random order. Now, when we want to achieve sorting, we say the sorting by and what column you want to sort by. In this case, we only have the name. So we want to sort by the name of these countries and what order you want to sort by. Do you want the result in an ascending order or a descending order? Because this example had ascending order, we have ordered these countries by the names. So India is at the top and United States is at the bottom of the result of this order. And similarly, you can also ask for the sort by name in a descending order, and then in that case United States will be at the top and India would be at the bottom of the results. So now we know how we will sort it. Let's come back to the application and implement sorting. Back inside our code, I am on the Vox controller where we had done some filtering on the getAll method. We are going to implement sorting on the same method as well, because this is the method that returns us all the list back, and clients may want to have a result sorted by a specific order. And in the last lecture we achieved filtering, and in here we will continue with this example and we will implement sorting along with filtering that we have. So similar to the filtering example, we would need the input parameters from the client from the query. So we will add more query parameters of inputs that the client wants, and based on these parameters we will perform some sorting actions on the filtered or non-filtered result. So let's say I'm adding a from query type parameter. So this will be from the query, and the type of this one will be a nullable string, because not always we want to sort the results. The first parameter will be sort by, and this will again be a column. So it's on a name. If we see the URL, we had the filter on and filter query, but we can also have sorting. So let's say sort by, and this will be the column we want to sort on. Let's say, for example, name. And finally, we want another one which says is ascending or descending. So let's say this is ascending, and that will be true or false. So let's say the default is true. In here, we will now add the sort by, which matches this one, which is the column name, and one more query parameter. So from query, and that will be a boolean, a nullable boolean, and this will be is ascending. And with that, we are receiving the results from Swagger and we are getting the results over here. Now we need to work on the repository method so that we can accept these parameters and sort the result. So I will first go to the interface and change the definition. So after the filter parameters, I will add the sorting parameters. So a nullable string, and the name of this parameter is sort by, so sort by name, for example. And the second parameter is the boolean, and the sort by will have a default of null as well. And I can take this to the second line, I think both of them. And the second parameter will be a boolean with the name is ascending, and the default for this one will be true. And if the client wants to send a descending order, they can send a false back, so that will be a descending one. So now we have changed the definition as well. We want to create the implementation. So I will add these two query parameters, the input parameters, to the implementation of SQL walk repository as well. So again, a nullable string, and the name is sort by, is equal to null, and the default value is null. So the next one is bool is ascending, and the default value is true. So based on these two input parameters, we will now do sorting. So after the filtering, I will add a comment, say that is sorting. So after the filtering, we perform sorting. In here, similar to how we were checking for filter column, we will check if the sort by column is null or not null. So we will say if string.is null or white space, we will check on the sort by column and say if this is false, that means it has a value and it is not null. Then we perform the action. So we will say if the sort by is on the name column, then we order by on the name column. If it is on the length column, then we do it on the length column. And these are the only two columns that we are covering in this sorting lecture. If you want more, you can have the similar functionality and can extend this functionality as well. So we will check if the sort by dot equals, and we are checking on the name first. So if the sorting is on name, and let's ignore the casing as well. So string type comparison dot ordinal ignore case, and one more bracket to this one. If it's on the name, then we will change walks. So walks is equal to walks dot order by x such that x dot name. And this means we are ordering this walks that we had filtered on the name column, but we also have another parameter which says ascending or descending. So basically we want to cater for that. So instead of doing it an if else statement, we'll use the ternary operator, and we'll say if this is ascending, then we say order by, and otherwise we'll say walks dot order by descending. That's a separate method for descending, and we'll say x such that x dot name, and order by on the name column here as well. So we are saying that if Swagger or the clients are telling you to sort on the name property, then we'll order by the name, and if the ascending is set to false, then we'll order by descending on the name column. And similarly, we can have an if in another block for the length. So we'll say else if the sort by dot equals the length column. So if you are sending us length from the query string, and again I will just ignore the casing. So string type comparison ignore case. Then we want to sort on the length in kilometer column or field. So walks is equal to, similarly, is ascending. If it is true, then we'll say walks dot order by, but this time we are doing it on the length in kilometer property. And if it is not ascending, that means it is descending, then we'll use the same thing but replace this with the order by descending method, and finally have a semicolon at the end to finish this. So this way we are filtering the results, or if it's null, we are not filtering the results, but then we are sorting the results like this. So we use the order by and the order by descending method based on the the sorting mechanism. So with that, it's now time in the controller to pass the results. So we did that mistake in the previous lecture, but now we remember to pass this parameters inside the repository. So sort by and is ascending. So now it's time to test our solution. Let's run our application. In here, we will just make one more change. We are sending a boolean, but we have a we are sending a nullable boolean, but our repository only accepts a boolean. So we'll say if it's a nullable, then change it to a true instead. So is ascending is always true if it's a null value. And now we can run our application. We will scroll down to our walks, and in here we can open the get all walks repository, and this time we have 4 query parameters. So I'll try it out, and without filtering, let's do nothing and click execute and see what happens. Let's see the default result, which is the unsorted result, and then compare it to the sorted result. So if I scroll down, I have the Makara beach walkway, and which is like M, and then we have the Kepler track, which is like T. So now let's sort by the name, and we'll say sort by the name column, and is ascending is true. And if we click on execute, we should have a sorted result. So if I come to the top, we have Botanic Garden Walk now, which is from B, and then Boulder Bank Walkway, which is B again, then C, and finally if I scroll down, I have T, which is the White Pine Push Track. So it looks like it is coming in a sorted manner based on the name. Let's see if it works if we try the descending order. So I'll change it from ascending to descending and click execute. And if I scroll down, Botanic Garden Walk is now at the bottom of this result, and if I scroll up, the White Pine Bush is at the top. So we can say for sure that sorting is working, but is sorting working with filtering? So let's filter the results based on track, and let's say filter on the name column by the query track. So now we are using all 4, and we should see the track, the White Pine track, the Kepler track, and because we have only 2 results, we can't really make sure, but we can say for sure sorting is happening after filtering. We can only see 2 results over here. Now we also performed the sorting based on the length. So I'll remove the filter for now, and let's say the sorting is on length based on true. So the smaller walks come first and the bigger walks come later. So execute that and see the length in kilometer column is 1, then 2, 2 again, and after that 2, 3, 3, 3.5. So it's increasing to a number which is bigger over here, which is 60 kilometers. And if we do a descending order, we have 1 at the bottom and 60, 32, 8, 22. So it's decreasing from there. So we can say we have implemented sorting on these 2 columns. And again, if you want to extend the sorting to multiple columns, you can just easily do that by following the format that we have. So now that we have implemented sorting, in the next lecture, we will go on and add pagination to our .NET API.